Okay guys, so today we're playing Counter-Strike Condition Zero in 2025. It's now been 21 years since the game's release back in March of 2004, only months before Counter-Strike Source, which was a lot more popular and successful. Condition Zero still has a decent amount of players though, after all these years. It is by far the least played of all the Counter-Strike games, but you'll still be able to find matches every now and then. It's definitely much more difficult than Counter-Strike Source and even the first Counter-Strike, and obviously CSGO and Counter-Strike 2 still have tons of players online. You only really have a couple hundred players every day, according to the Steam charts, so it is a little bit more challenging, and, like, from my experience, I was able to only find one server, like, that actually had an objective game going on, like, you know, the regular Counter-Strike mode, where you plant and defuse the bomb and all that shit. I was only able to get into one server, and it was just about full, and it was from Spain, and I was kicked out because of high ping. Then you just have a couple of other deathmatch servers, which, honestly, I'm not a huge fan of deathmatch in Counter-Strike. I don't think it's a lot of fun. I think the game really shines when you're actually, like, playing objectives instead of just killing as many people as you can. I think the spawns and everything are just horrible in deathmatch, and it's not a good time. So it sucks because that's pretty much most of what you're going to get in 2025 from what I've experienced. And also, half the time, like, the server is filled with bots, and you don't even have that many human players. It's mostly bots that you're going to be fighting. So it's a little rough to play in 2025, I'm going to be honest. And this server in particular had all these fucking obnoxious noises that kept playing every time someone got a kill. And it gave me a fucking headache, and I'm like, bro, I do not want to play this shit. And you guys can probably hear it in the background, and you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, there's a lot of custom servers and modded stuff that is in a lot of these older titles. And to me, I just wish that we can go back to the vanilla game the way that it was. I mean, gameplay-wise, it plays like it did. I just don't like all this other shit that they put in the server for no reason. I know I sound like an old person complaining, but yeah, I would say the game overall, though, is still worth checking out if you're a Counter-Strike fan at the very least, and you want to complete your collection and say you played every single Counter-Strike game. Condition Zero is definitely kind of like the black sheep of the series. It's not a game that people really talk about that often, even though, you know, Counter-Strike 2 is called Counter-Strike 2, but this was the original Counter-Strike 2. It was the sequel to the first Counter-Strike from 2000, and Counter-Strike Source was a remake of Counter-Strike 1. But because of how Source pretty much took over the gaming world when it came out in 2004, and it was a very popular game, and still is pretty popular today, this game quickly got overshadowed, because, like I said, it was only a couple months later that Source was released. So it's kind of like you had Unreal Tournament 2003, and then Unreal Tournament 2004. You know, no one was going to play 2003 at that point, so it was kind of a similar thing. It also has a single-player campaign if you're interested, but it's not nearly as memorable as the actual multiplayer was. And I think, honestly, Condition Zero provided some of the best maps and content that the series has ever seen. I think in a lot of ways it was a vast improvement over the first Counter-Strike game, so I wish it got more love and attention than it currently does, and I wish you had more players on Steam. It would definitely be a lot easier for me to recommend if there were more players and more activity and you had more servers that are active, but I'd still say, considering, like, when it's on sale, you can get it for really, really, really cheap, why not just take the plunge and install it and just check it out for yourself and see if you like it. It still provides some fun in 2025.